Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of Geekin and Drinkin. My name is Eddie.
Steven.
I'm Matt.
And this week we are doing episode 3. We want to thank you guys so much, for watching the past 2 episodes that are, up on YouTube for you to check out. And today we are back with another Freetail beer. So
This episode we're going to be featuring Freetail Original Amber Ale. So it's one of their original beers that they came out with when Freetail first came out. Again, Freetail is based here in San Antonio, Texas. They're a local brewery. You can find them in local stores here as well. They have a pub restaurant. They even have their brewery on the south side of San Antonio, which is pretty cool. If you get a chance, check them out. Go check out their tap room. Check out their website at Freetail Brewing Company, and check them out. See whenever you can go visit that tap room. I know they do events every, I want to say last Saturday it is that what it's called? Or is it first Saturday?
That was first Saturday.
First Saturday. They do a first Saturday, so they have, some live music, some comedians that go in, and, tap room is open to like 9 or 10, so just check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool place to go visit as well.
yeah, and again, we want to thank Freetail for allowing us to feature their beer on the show. So thank you guys. We love the beer and keep it up.
So we're gonna go ahead and open up another one of these delicious bad boys here. So
And you guys, craft beer is the way to go. A lot of different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
oh yeah, really good.
Yeah. So last week we had a pretty good discussion on shared universes. Like I said, if you haven't already done so, check out that video. It's a little long in length, but I think it was a pretty good discussion overall.
It was really good. I believe there was a few of them that we might have missed, but we didn't want to extend that out too long as well. I mean, there's only so much we can try to squeeze into an episode as well. But actually, I just want to bring back that whole shared universe up just a little bit, because I actually went to go check out The Nun. And
how was it?
man, it was pretty good. It wasn't as scary as The Conjuring, because if you're a fan of the horror films of the Conjuring movies, The Nun is a spin-off from those.
Right.
It's actually from The Conjuring 2, where The Nun was first featured.
Yeah.
Actually, in reality, the nun character itself was featured in The Conjuring 2, but it was actually brought up in the first Conjuring, which if you watch the movie, it'll actually give you that little explanation of where it came from.
Oh, okay.
So and then that, like I said, that's just going back to the shared universe.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's that The Nun is so far is the highest grossing movie in that Conjuring universe. It's made more money than Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, and both Annabelle films. And it's funny because I learned that that whole Nun part of the Conjuring 2 was all done in reshoots. The original movie didn't have it in there. When they went back to reshoot, that's when they included The Nun.
Oh wow!
Now
I was not aware.
Yeah, so doing that, it really benefit them in the end. So yeah, I mean that's one of those universes that just sneak up on you. But another one that we kind of touched on a little bit, and it's actually going to be one of our discussion topics today, is Netflix Marvel TV shows. If you don't know what we're talking about Daredevil, Iron Fist,
Jessica Jones,
Luke Cage,
The Punisher.
Yes, they're all Netflix produced
Marvel shows.
And I believe Iron Fist just released its second season not too long
It's
ago.
the latest
right?
one. The first one to release their new season was Jessica Jones season 2, then Luke Cage season 2, and then Iron Fist is the latest one with Daredevil season 3 and The Punisher season 2 soon to come out as well.
Yeah. Have y'all checked out that Punisher teaser?
Punisher teaser.
What?
I'm sorry. The Daredevil.
I was gonna say.
Daredevil season 3. That was my mistake. That was too exciting.
Yes, I have checked out the Daredevil teaser for season 3.
How awesome.
I mean, it's what it is. It's pretty much what you basically is. It's just a teaser. It doesn't give you anything at all. Just pretty much just him in the confession booth of the church.
So good. I think
the things what he says in the teaser is just kind of a little intense.
Yeah, I thought that that teaser. I watched it. and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Daredevil, I think, in my opinion, is the best of the Netflix shows.
And if you also watch those shows, the other show that also came out that brought all four of those characters together, minus the Punisher, because Punisher would have been the fifth character, but he wasn't in it, was the Defenders brought Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones together on one show. And if you watch that show, you know that the other three think that Daredevil is dead.
Oh yes, spoilers.
Yeah.
At the end. I mean, that show. Usually these shows, they're like 13 episodes long each season.
10 to 13.
Yeah,
I think. I want to say because I just finished watching Iron Fist season 2, and I think that was only like 10 episodes.
Okay, yeah. So usually like about 10, 13 episodes, and Defenders was only 8. 8.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean.
Makes sense.
It was a good and bad thing. Like it was good because like it's you want to overload it. It's a good quick watch, but I wanted more. And but sometimes be careful what you wish for because sometimes those 13 episode seasons, man, they're a little
some
hard to get through.
Episodes drag on.
Like Luke Cage season 2, it was a good season. But in my opinion, I think it went on a little longer than it should have. But it was still good.
I thought after the second to the last episode, I was like, all right, that's it. Like it's it. But then there's another one. And all that.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys a little bit on that one. I thought season 2 of Luke Cage was great. It was good. The first season was good too, but there were some episodes that just seemed a little cheesy, and then the villain itself. And that one was a little cheesy. The villain in season 2 was really good.
Oh yeah.
Real brutal.
What was his name?
Bushmaster.
Bushmaster. Dude,
he had a very understandable motive.
Yeah.
I
forgot what the other one was with the weird suit.
Diamondback.
Yes, Diamondback.
That one was.
He just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's this guy? And then. I like Cottonmouth. He was a good villain in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sad that they killed him off halfway throughout the season.
Mahershala Ali. Yeah, he's so good.
But what I was going to try to get at, though, is season 2 of Luke Cage was really good. If you guys haven't seen season 2 of Iron Fist, I suggest you check it out. It does itself justice as opposed to season 1. But I was real disappointed, or just a little bit more disappointed with Jessica Jones season 2 than I was... just as I was watching season 1 of Iron Fist. I loved the first season of Jessica Jones. I loved David Tennant as Kilgrave. He was amazing in that season. He played that character really well. But season 2, I think they were just kind of just trying to put it out there, just push it in. And she didn't really have a villain per se in that one, but to some of the characters, they also just kind of like had potential. They just kind of wiped them out or something. It was and to go back, what I was trying to get at too is that was one that really drug on. It was just like, okay, you know what, maybe this one should have been a little shorter than what they made it to be. But
I never seen Jessica Jones season 2. I tried watching it, but like you said, like I got past first episode, and after that it was just like I kind of got bored.
I never seen Jessica Jones season 1. I started season 1 a while ago, and for me, I just couldn't get into it. I mean, I love the character. She's awesome. She's cool.
I like season 1.
It's hard to get into if you really never knew who the character was in the first place.
I loved her in Defenders. I love her and Luke Cage. The whole back and forth with her and Matt Murdock. It's good. Just I don't know, for some reason I couldn't get into her standalone seasons. And what's it called? The thing I like also is that of course they would release Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist to bring the Defenders, but another comic book duo that's really famous in the comics are Daughters of the Dragon. I'm so sorry. which is Colleen Wing and Misty Knight. And in Luke Cage season 2, you get a little taste of that, and it's so awesome. Like,
well, little spoiler alert here. You also get a taste of that, a little bit more taste of it in season 2 of Iron Fist as well. So that's why I say I suggest watching Iron Fist. I still have an issue with the character of Iron Fist himself. He's just.
I noticed that he doesn't constantly say he's Iron Fist.
Yeah, he stopped saying that too. But then he kind of becomes a little out of touch with himself and just kind of becomes just a little downer at some points, and it's just not something you want to see from a superhero that people are real big fans of, and he has so much potential to be something and to be inspirational, to be just total down character, like, man, like, okay,
and to have his I guess his level of power, he's a pretty powerful character. I mean, like,
I was so excited with and Defenders, how him and Luke Cage met, and then he had to charge up his fist to take down Luke Cage, and Luke Cage was like surprised, like, whoa,
yes.
what the?
And like I said, like, they're back and forth on Defenders, as well as Luke Cage season 2 was just like, it was awesome, it was perfect. Heroes for Hire. I was just like, it got me real excited to see that. But I mean, the one thing the show that started it all, I mean, Daredevil, and there's no question about it. I mean, Daredevil, both season 1 and 2 are amazing. There's a scene in I think it's episode 4 or 3 of season 1 where it's all one shot, and what one shot means is they film it continuously, no cuts, no edits, no nothing. It's just they film it, and it's just continuing into the scene is over, and it's him fighting in the hallway when he goes to rescue the little girl. And it's awesome because, like, you could see him, like, he's a superhero, but like, you think of superheroes and they're fighting.
Is it a little girl? I thought it was a little boy. That was the son.
It probably is a little boy. It's a child, but you see him. He goes in, and it's funny because you see him. He goes, takes a breath. He's ready. He goes in, and he just starts he's
going at it again. And
guys continue to come. You could see him getting so, like, tired, but that like sold me on that. And they do the same thing in season 2 when he's going down the staircase
against the biker gang.
Oh yes,
that was probably one of my favorite scenes.
That is so awesome.
They did something similar with John. I can never say his last name right. John Bertha's character for the Punisher, where he's in the jail. Where he's in the jail cell.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that part was amazing, and then to have that guy land on his chest. And then when they're dragging him out, you just see the symbol of the Punisher.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that.
Not a lot of people knew about that, and I was like, oh, wow, that is something right there. It's like, yeah. Yeah,
that's another one, too, that Punisher, came out, and, I mean, how good is John Bernthal, that character?
I think he was great. I think he was amazing. There was some backlash, from fans that they just don't really think John Bernthal is a good actor altogether. I mean, he does kind of play the same character, but I think it was all just working up for him to get this part.
And it showed it in Shane in Walking Dead. In Shane, from end of season, like throughout season 2, when you just saw how he was slowly, going crazy, and he did portray the Punisher pretty good.
And it might have been like he probably didn't even know that was something was going to eventually come out, but it did have that portrayal that early, I guess you could say.
And then I loved that season of Punisher. I mean, it was good for me. I mean, in my opinion, like it was a show that was hard. I mean, not hard to get through, but it was difficult because, man, like it for me, it like brings you down. Like, I remember when I was watching it, I was just like, I mean, I'm not trying to say it in a bad way because it's not a bad show. It's just like the stuff that he goes through, some of the stuff that happens in the show. It's real dark. It's dark, and it's just like
for me.
It kind of affected my mood a little bit, but I mean,
I think for me, Punisher was always one of my favorite characters from the comics. to the Spider-Man cartoon, the Dolph Lundgren version. But Punisher was always one of my favorite characters, and when what's his name?
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. Think again, guys. When Thomas Jane came out to play in the Punisher movie,
and that was the first time I was introduced to the Punisher with that movie.
I mean, I loved that version of it, that version of the movie. He did really good as the character itself too, but it had its dark moments too. I mean, it was sad. I mean, he was, driven by rage because of what happened to his family.
Right. Yeah.
From John Travolta's character.
And at the end of it all, he tried to kill himself.
Yeah,
but he had a change of heart. He decided, like, you know what? Let me just take down all the criminals that the justice system can't put away.
One character I would like them to bring back from the movie. I mean, obviously they don't have any ties together, but to bring from the movie to the show is the Russian.
Oh, Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash played the Russian in the first Punisher movie. I mean, that fight scene was pretty intense, but bring this back to the Marvel, Netflix shows. I mean, have they announced when Daredevil season 3 was gonna be? I mean, I know we got the teaser.
I actually saw somewhere. It's me scrolling the Instagram, and like I always take news lightly from there, but it's supposed to be out next month, like 19th October.
Huh.
So it's supposed to come out soon, but it's not really officially announced. It was because.
Well, they kind of already did a teaser before.
Oh, a long time ago, yeah.
But I think it's like in the subway or something like that.
It just says season 3.
It just says 3.
Yeah.
And then the little blood splat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was kind of the first official teaser. And then this is a teaser showing Daredevil himself, and he's
not dead.
Not dead, and supporting the black costume again.
You can tell something's going on with him.
Yeah.
So we don't know any story news about this, third season. I heard rumors that it was going to be the end game. What's it called? The storyline.
I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Where Kingpin finds out his identity, and then Karen Page sells Daredevil's identity because she was an addict in the comics. It was a Frank Miller storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's called Endgame or something like that.
But he kind of already figured that out, didn't he? I thought in season 2 he kind of figured out who he was.
I guess that's where that storyline plays in with season 3. Then
I gotta go back and watch it again.
Hey, that's a perfect excuse.
It gives me a good excuse to watch it again. I mean, I've seen the first season like 3 times already. Punisher, I've seen that one twice. I've only seen Iron Fist season 1 just the one time. I think the one time was just good enough for me.
Yeah, no, that's probably one of the lowest points in that universe, I guess you can say. And I mean, and then okay, so last episode we talked about the shared universes, and then going back, they never really officially say if these characters are part or whatever of the MCU. There was always, especially when Infinity War came out, there was like all this rumors going around like, oh, Daredevil was supposed to make a big screen appearance and this and that, but of course that I knew that wasn't going to happen. Yeah,
but they do in a way do share that universe because they do mention little key things here and there.
Yeah, like in the shows, I know they mention the incident as and they're referring to the events that took place in Avengers 1 in New York.
Oh yeah,
the incident.
The incident.
They mention
the Accords. They've mentioned
the Accords. I think it is in Iron Fist or Luke Cage that they mention a green guy in Harlem, which is the Hulk in the Incredible Hulk movie.
And the first Daredevil, the guy that was supposed to be Kingpin's like accountant or whatever, mentions Thor. That talking about the hammer.
Gods with
hammers.
Yeah.
So I mean, like there's, I mean, it's already kind of been put out there that
And then I know you guys haven't seen season 2 of Jessica Jones yet, but they do mention the super prison.
Oh, the one in Civil War.
Yeah, from Civil War.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's just loose tie-ins like
that.
But
but on the other end of it, in the MCU, no mentions, no nothing. I mean, it's. I mean, like for people to think that like Daredevil doesn't come out in Infinity War. I think that's wishful thinking for as comic book fans. I mean, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I know the showrunner for these Netflix shows is a completely different person than who runs MCU, which is Kevin Feige, and it's two different I guess we call it two different sections or departments there at Marvel. So
whatever it may be.
Yeah. So I mean, I for the most part enjoy those shows. I mean, the ones I've seen. Can't wait for season 3 of Daredevil and season 2 of The Punisher.
Isn't that one coming out in October too?
No, I know they're filming it sometime.
Well, they already finished filming.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Punisher's already done filming because I follow it on social media, and I follow John Berthel on social media too, and he pretty much filming is wrapped on The Punisher, so now it's just in post-production, so I'm not sure when it's actually supposed to be let out. I thought it was October, maybe November.
Probably sometime.
So that one should be coming out pretty
later
soon
on the
too.
year, probably earlier next year.
Yeah, so hopefully that one will come out soon. And speaking, with Marvel stuff, what do y'all feel? How do y'all guys feel about the new the news about Venom and the runtime and the ratings for it?
It was rated PG-13, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of
all expected that.
Yeah, expected that.
I mean, we spoke on it a little bit last episode, but
it was kind of a dream for most fans to want it to be rated R, and in the trailers it did kind of perceive it, and like I said, like in the last episode we mentioned that they wanted to incorporate Spider-Man sometime down the future to fight Venom, that's the reason why behind the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, I mean I guess I would say that's pretty much. It comes down to that. That's the reason why they want to leave that door open. It's gonna be almost 2-hour film. I think it's an hour and 52 minutes. So I mean that's a good runtime. It's not long. It's not a short movie. It's not 90 minutes like Justice League. I mean it is what it is. I think the director Ruben Fletcher came out and is already talking about releasing an uncut version of the film when it comes out on Blu-ray.
So here's a question. I've seen that before too. He's saying that he's going to do an uncut version. Now, uncut meaning like a director's cut, or uncut meaning like an unrated version. That's going to be the question. That's two different things.
Yeah, I mean. I believe it's in the article. It did say director's cut, but I mean that could it'd be like, I mean,
a number of things. Too.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it has if he's just like, well, we didn't get this R rating, so I mean, like I'm gonna get my version out there, some one way or another. Which I mean, it's.
You think he has more potential of getting his version out there than Zack Snyder did of getting his Justice League version out?
Like at first, I was like, like everybody wishful thinking. I was like, there's a Snyder cut out there, and we're gonna get it. And now just like.
And everyone was hoping, like, okay, so even after Justice League, in the theaters, even after people saw it, everyone was like. Already walking out. Oh, we're gonna get the director's cut. We're gonna get the full cut.
We're gonna get that 4-hour cut.
Yeah, when it comes out on Blu-ray, and we still got the regular cut.
Yeah, I mean.
And after that, I rewatched that. I just saw Justice League in the theater, and that was it. And I rewatched it because it was on Amazon Prime, and it's like now I know why I never watched it again
Which is sad though too, because my son was excited about it. And he fell asleep. He fell asleep. He fell asleep before he knew the Heroes came out. It did not catch his attention. So then when it came out on Blu-ray, we bought it, and he finally saw it, and he was just like, "That's it." He was like,
"It's so short."
Even him himself was a little disappointed. And one of his favorite characters being the Flash, he didn't like the way the Flash was in the movie.
I like the Flash. I mean,
I think he likes the WB show version.
CW.
Or CW. I'm showing my age right there, going to WB. But the CW version than the movie version itself.
Yeah. So, let's get off this topic. No, I mean,
Speaking of Justice League,
yeah.
Recently, there has been news that Henry Cavill is leaving Superman, the role of Superman.
Yeah,
it's all up in the air. You know, it's rumored that he was leaving, and then they're saying now that nothing's changed, that they're negotiating things.
Okay, so yeah, so what was it? It was on Wednesday, I believe, right?
Sometime this week, yeah.
I remember I woke up to text from both of y'all, and the first text I see is Matthew's Henry Cavill out of Superman. I'm like, what? So immediately I go online and look, and sure enough, everyone's reporting that Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. And I mean, like, I like him as Superman. I mean, he looks like Superman. I think he's a good actor. And it sucks, for me it really sucks, but I get it. I understand why, if it is true, why he decided to make this decision,
Well, the news.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Some news reports saying that it's WB's decision that they driving him out because, recently he signed on to be in the Witcher series, and when they wanted him to cameo in Shazam and other movies, and him being in the Netflix series conflicts with him being cameoing in any other DC movies, and if you ever played the Witcher games and the main character Garrett, he's beard, long hair, and Henry Cavill has to represent that, and we all know the controversy during Justice League during the reshoots. Henry Cavill had to grow out the mustache for Mission Impossible.
There was a tweet from.
But I'm gonna say I haven't even gotten to go see Fallout yet, but I heard that it was worth him being in it.
That trailer, the trailer for that movie, just him, I was like, oh yes, that mustache was worth it. But it was funny because there was a tweet from this comedian that I really like, and he as soon as this news came out, he had tweeted out, he goes Henry Cavill's gonna grow the biggest mustache now. But look at it. He did Man of Steel, which was, in my opinion, a good movie. And then it was announced that the next movie is going to be Batman v Superman, which if you ask some fans, it's just like it was more of a Batman movie, and Superman and Superman in the movie is kind of real taking a beating, like he does not look happy in the movie. I mean, it's a good movie. I'm not saying that Henry Cavill himself. I'm saying the character of Superman just looks broken, beaten down, gets killed at the end, and then this whole Justice League, he comes back and he starts to be that Superman that everybody knows and love, who fights for truth, justice, and the American way. And with the news of Warner Brothers just announcing they're going to be developing a Supergirl movie, it's kind of putting Henry Cavill in the back seat to where he's not getting the proper praise, or not even getting a sequel to his first Man of Steel movie,
like his own standalone movie.
Yeah, so it's kind of he's just kind of sitting here like, all right, I've done what you guys told me, and and I'm still not getting what I should be getting. So I'm gonna dedicate my time to doing this other show, The Witcher, and I don't know, maybe it's just kind of, it's supposedly they're still negotiating it, the whole thing, like it's not official that he's out, according to his manager who tweeted out that the cape's still in his closet. So
yeah, and then he even recently just put it post a video on Instagram with him showing the Superman figure, and it's just kind of like.
And maybe notice his shirt. It said Krypton, Wicking Team or something like that.
Yeah.
So
hopefully,
I really hope he's not out.
He's not officially out, man. I'm sure there will be some good actors out there. But for me, Henry Cavill is Superman. Forever will be Superman. From the day he put on the cape.
Definitely. 2013. So guys, as we mentioned before, like on this podcast, we want to, talk about many things: music, TV, and music. And so far, we've talked about the two.
We don't want to bore you too much with just TV and movies too much.
So. We love music. And our
style of music is changed throughout
our years
as
yeah.
well.
Especially mine.
Especially his over here, Mr. NSYNC.
Yes, I used to listen to NSYNC, thanks to my cousins. But no, so we want to take a little time to discuss some of our favorite albums that come out this year. I mean, there have been a couple bands that have released albums.
Well, albums and future albums, bands that we haven't heard from in a while that just released new singles as well too. So.
I believe like earlier this year, or I believe it was earlier in the summer, 21 Pilots, Who You and Your Son Love, released a few tracks, correct?
Yes, they have 3 new tracks available. I believe on their iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your music. It's Jumpsuit, Nico and the Niners, which is my son's favorite song, and Levitate. And their new album, it's supposed to be dropping out pretty soon as well. It's called Trenches, which I'm super excited to hear, and can't wait for that to come out. It should be coming out next month, sometime in October. So super excited for 21 Pilots for their new album to come out. The songs are amazing. They're real good. What I really love about 21 Pilots is that they're not just stuck to one sound throughout any of their albums. They're always different. The first time I heard them, it was that song "Stressed Out," and for me, I thought like, oh, this is just these kind of want to be like hip hop kind of guys, because he does do some rhyming and some fast verses and stuff like that. But no, like if you actually listen to the albums, he actually sings. They play instruments, or got the drummer. He plays the ukulele.
Are they brothers?
No, they're friends. They've been best friends from. I believe they're from Ohio, which is one of the things that was funny is when they won a Grammy for their last album.
Were they in their underwear?
Yeah. So the whole purpose was because when they used to watch the Oscars, the Grammys, or they had watched it one time, they were just sitting around in their underwear, and the singer Tyler Joseph was like, if we ever become big and we ever win a Grammy, we're gonna accept the award in our underwear, and which is exactly what they did. They got up, pulled down their pants, walked up the stage, and just in their boxers. So it was pretty cool. I was like, I didn't know if there was like at the time it was like a statement they were trying to make, but no, that was pretty much what it was. Was just like, we watched the Grammys in underwear, we're gonna get a Grammy in our underwear.
I don't even want to know what kind of statement they be trying to make in doing that. So yeah, I mean another album that I know y'all like the group Alkaline Trio. They've just released an album, I heard. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. What was it called?
It's called "If This Thing's Cursed." I've been listening to it. I think released sometime last week, and I've been listening to it for since then, and it's really good. It's it's the same Alkaline Trio you've listened throughout the whole year. It's some, you can tell there's some difference in their sound. What's your thoughts with them?
For me, I started listening to Alkaline in high school. And the album I started listening to was, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the album, but it's the song. It's the album that has the song "We've Had Enough" in it, and for me, that's where it took me back to. It took me back to that album. It's real good. I've heard it a couple of times. Enjoyed it very much. It's what you any fan of Alkaline Trio would expect from Alkaline Trio. Nothing too different. Nothing. Too new.
They're not like most bands from their time where they switch up their sound a lot.
They don't switch it up where it was terrible as well. There are bands out there that they have this really good album. It's real energetic, and then they go real super experimental, which is it's cool to be experimental, but if you go super experimental, sometimes it just doesn't work, especially if you completely change the sound from what you had before.
Like they go, one band I noticed that went in the kind of pop is 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, they've gone.
If you heard their first few albums,
great.
It's way different than what they're putting out now. And
yeah,
I heard one of their newest songs, and it's just I
don't like it.
It's just like radio music.
I think now I'm more of a fan of Jared Leto's acting than I am of 30 Seconds. But if 30 Seconds ever came here, I'm there in a heartbeat. I mean, I remember we went to go see them one time.
Yeah, we've seen them twice.
We didn't even really know who they were. It was just like, oh, we're 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm like, oh, cool. Oh man, they sounded amazing.
And a band that we all enjoy is Thrice, and they just released a new album yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, it's
2 days ago.
I think yesterday. It's called Palms, and this is their second album they released after they come back from their hiatus, their short little hiatus they went on. And that's a band that that they, when they started out, they were one sounded, they were kind of like a little heavier and a little fast paced, and then they went super experimental, which they're the exception. They're the exception that they pulled it off. Like their Alchemy Index albums were great in my opinion. I love their albums. Vessel was awesome.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I think for them when they went a little experimental, I think Vessel was one of my favorites because coming from Artists in the Ambulance, where it was like I guess like a little like, if you want to put a label on it, more like upbeat, post hardcore punk, stylish, I guess you want to say. Just I can't really describe it because I don't want to say it's punk because there's people that say, well, that wasn't punk, but just how you it
was faster paced than what Vessel
released after.
Yeah. And then after Alchemy and all that stuff came out, they had I forgot the name of the albums, but I want to say Beggars.
Yes, Beggars.
And then Major Minor, which in my opinion, Major Minor wasn't all that great. But I mean, their sound has changed, throughout their career as a band. This new album, Palms, it does sound different. I mean, it's different from their last album, which I forget the name of it, but that last album was great. This one is pretty good. It has a couple of songs that that sneak up on you, and they get you, like it's jam into it. One of my favorite song on there is Only Us and My Soul. So if you guys like Thrice or you like that kind of music, check it out. I know also check out Alkaline Trio.
I have a question for you guys. So this band that just put out a single, pretty much I think early in the summer as well. Or kind of later in the summer, midsummer, whatever. Anyways, there's been controversy about them because of something that the singer did.
Okay.
But how do you guys feel about the comeback of As I Lay Dying with the original members?
Tim Lebesis.
Which some of the members even had said before that they weren't gonna ever play with the lead singer again for what he had did. We don't want to get too much into that, but he did something where he had to do some jail time. He got out. They got back together. They came out with this new single called My Own Grave, which in my opinion is amazing.
Yes.
It's awesome. I think As I Lay Dying is one of those awesome real metal bands that
they're just metal, Adam.
Pretty much, yeah. Like they don't have like this distinct. I mean, how can I describe it?
They're the band that I think about when I.
They're not too much of a melody metal band.
Yeah,
that's what I guess I'm trying to say. Right?
Yes, yeah. They're not like how nowadays a lot of bands they're like try to be real melodic but hard at the same time. They're straight just metal, and every time I think of metal, I think of As I Lay Dying. We've seen him a couple of times. He threw a beer on me when we saw him one time. That's how excited he got. And I love them, and I was really bummed out to hear, all this, stuff that happened with the singer, him, serving some jail time, which, I was like, ugh, that sucks. They've gone back, and yeah, they even, the band themselves have, released a video where they talk about, how them getting back together kind of all played out, and how difficult it was for some members, and how hard, it was just like they really opened up and they really shared that personal, time in their lives with everybody, and that to me, like speaks a lot, it's just like, they got on camera and they didn't talk about their upcoming music, their upcoming tour, they didn't talk about nothing. They just talked about they shared this personal thing that happened in their lives that affected all of them, and they shared it out there, and it's out there, and some of them even started tearing up, crying. And but the fact that they did that, and it speaks so loudly to me. And their ex Steven said that there has been controversy that some fans out there like oh, you know, I'm not gonna support them no more. I'm not gonna go to their shows, or you know, or anybody who supports them is wrong. No, it's not. That's not the case. You could, you know, you could still love them. If you don't like them, you know, or you don't want to support them, that's your choice. That's fine. But I mean, like, you know, me as a fan, I choose, you know, to...
As a fan of their music, yes, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna listen to the new album. I love this new song.
And so, I mean, I'm excited because they did announce that they're going on tour, and one of their stops is right here in San Antonio. I believe it's in November, so I'm definitely going to be there. I haven't seen them in a while, and they do put on a pretty good show. So, I mean...
Last time I saw them, or we saw them, was Taste of Chaos years ago. I'm not even going to try to remember what year that was, but it was Taste of Chaos years ago.
He had a beer in his hand. Once they started playing, he just ran into the pit and splashing all his beer. It's cool. It's fine. We were on the moment. But, yeah, I mean, they put on a good show, so, I mean, I'm pretty excited for that. I'm glad that they're back, for one. I mean, you know, if you don't want to support them, that's your decision. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah, it'll definitely be exciting.
All right, well, I mean, I'm going to talk about my favorite albums that came out recently, probably in the last 2-3 months. I mean, switching up genres, I know y'all talk about metal, but, you know, I've been getting into hip-hop a lot more lately in the last 2-3 years. And one of my favorite groups, the internet, just released an album called Hive Mind. And, you know, if I have anyone watching that knows the internet, you know, you've been following them since their Odd Future days back in 2010 or 2009. They have really, you know, progressed from then.
They're called the internet?
They call it the internet. It's like an
That's smart.
like
I was so about to say a dad joke, but
they're like an R&B group, and they, you know, have some cool grooves and cool, you know, it's chill music, and
is it anything like some of the stuff that's out now? I mean, I don't want to.
No, it's not anything that stuff like any of the mumble rapping or anything like that. You know, it's like rap like that. I don't really listen to.
You don't like Lil Pump?
Nah. But also, if y'all heard of Travis Scott, he released his album. You know, to an extent, it's alright. To me, it dragged on too long. It was 17 songs, too long. To me, the hit songs that people listen to should have just been on that album, and the songs that should have just been trashed or like left off for like
EP.
Yeah, but I mean, it was solid, but you know, like I said, it went on too long, and it just didn't, you know, sit well with me. But
and who was that? Travis Scott?
Travis Scott, yeah, you know, he has a few albums released. Rodeo. He's from Houston, actually. He went to UTSA, so he dropped out of UTSA and became big rapper, and he's making it out there now. And,
that's cool. That's pretty cool.
And and last album that I've been
I like to hear people from Texas making it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he hailed from Houston. He went to UTSA for like a year or two, and then from there on he went on to music, and had a very successful career with that. And aside from his album, the same day, Mac Miller had dropped his album called Swimming, and unfortunately, was it last week or a few weeks ago, or like 2 weeks ago,
last week.
He passed away. Unfortunately, he passed away, and like after a month, his album been out, and I've been listening to his album since it came out, and it's good. He's been progressing his sound since he was out when I was starting high school. So
yeah, I started listening to him when he was making it big when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
So
and I think he was only
20. He was
19.
20,
well, I mean,
26.
I was gonna say when he started, he was like 19 or
somewhere around
17,
there,
something like that when he first got signed on, and then unfortunately,
from there on, he picked up some.
Just kind of spiraled a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, other than his personal life, his music,
really,
his lyrics, everything was really.
And his death, it impacted the music industry.
It did. It really did.
And all his fans, Lately, his music has been like on the top charts lately. Unfortunately, it did take him, to pass away for him to get the recognition he deserved. And I became a fan of him when Good AM came out, and from there on, I've been listening to him nonstop. And swimming is, he does, continue his sound with jazz rap and his melodies, and
so it's more like a laid back, chill.
He was one of the few that came out that didn't fall into the category of
doing the same thing.
Of doing the same thing,
he tried to do things
at the time when he was coming out. Like Drake, Lil Wayne were big and getting bigger. That type of sound. And then for him to come out and just straight up do what he likes to do, play his style of hip hop. I mean, that's what drew me to listening to him. It's like, I haven't heard someone like this guy in a long time. So it was, it was good. It was good to hear something different other than what was on at the radio at that time. And then for him to continue doing that, and like Matthew said, jazz melodies with the hip hop version into it and stuff like that. He was a real talented individual. Sad to see him, pass, the way he did, or,
he's supposed to have a tour in November.
It is what it is. No. He's still gonna be remembered for a lot of the music he did.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
There you go, man.
It's to you. Well, guys, that's the show for this week. We want to thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're checking us out on Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play. If you don't already know, we're available on those platforms for the audio only. So if you want to listen to us on your way to work, where you're just bored, you can listen to the audio version on those platforms. Just search Geekin Drinkin, rate, review. That'll really help us out. Subscribe.
Leave us comments.
Yes, please leave us comments.
We'd like to see comments.
Hear y'all's feedback on how we can improve, what we can do.
Your thoughts on the show.
Even shoot us some topics if you want something for us to talk about. Even give us some ideas for some topics.
It doesn't have to be the realm of movies or TV. We do want to.
We like to geek out on pretty much anything. So
basically.
And also be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook at, what was it again?
Facebook.com/Geekin Drinkin Podcast. Twitter, Instagram, at Geekin_Drinkin. All the links are going to be in the description, so you can find them there, as well as our links to Spotify, Google, and iTunes, so you can check all that stuff out there. And like I said, we want to thank you guys for the support. Share with your friends, spread the word. Check out these wonderful beers that we've been featuring, because they are really good, and we're not just saying that lightly. We do take our beer seriously.
Yes.
And and these craft beers are really good. You
really
want to
tasty.
Yeah, you want to expand your your beer.
Your beer knowledge.
Your beer knowledge. Try these craft beers. Freetail. Visit their site at Freetail Brewing Company .com. Sorry. And also last week we featured Busted Sandal. Check them out as well.
We're gonna try to feature other beers, other stuff as well. So
just continue to support, so we can be able to feature more beers around San Antonio, Texas area. And here at Geekin Drinkin, we do support responsible drinking. So if you're a drinker, drink responsibly. Don't go too wild.
And don't be afraid to let your geek side show. Again, my name's Eddie.
Steven.
I'm Matt.
And we're Geekin Drinkin. Thanks, guys.